G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a handmade rocket rifle. This is a NIF-based weapon, looks like it's been made in some raider's garage, but it's a rifle that fires a missile out of it. It's a break action reload, so slightly altered double barrel shotgun reload animations are applying here, and there's absolutely no spacing or room for any backblast, so you better believe this seal right here, despite being a weapon that is made in the aforementioned raider garage, is going to hold for an entire missile, which normally this thing is meant to be chambered in rockets, you know, like standard rockets from the Rockets Red Glare missile launcher machine gun thing from the Lonesome Road DLC, but we're just using standard vanilla game missiles. It's basically the same thing, so that's fine. A little bit of customization here, but in terms of its damage, it's about half as powerful as you'd get out of a standard vanilla game missile launcher, which for this particular weight and this solution, I don't think that's actually too terrible at all. So if you can get past what this thing looks like, this thing might be a slightly effective weapon. So we'll get to increasing this thing's damage, just like the the 44 Magnum. You've got 4 options, including Advanced, Superior, Improved, that gives us 261 damage, which is not too bad. Gun Nut Rank 2 and Demo Expert Rank 3 are required to make the advanced version, so be sure to have those unlocked before you try to modify it, otherwise your game will crash. And we've got some stocks. That one looks like just a standard vanilla game pipe rifle or pistol grip that's just sort of been angled to look more like a rifle grip. This one here looks to be some sort of combat rifle looking stock with some tape wrapped around it and some extra greebling here on the... That's your cheek rest. You really want screws in your cheek when you aim down sights with this thing? Not really sure about that one. A marksman stock looks like a radium rifle stock with a proper cheek rest on it, which looks nice. A comfort stock, that looks completely new. I haven't seen that one before, so it looks kind of cool. Proper cheek rest again. And the heavy stock looks like that from a railway rifle, which has those there, which, again, not very comfortable looking. Gotta go the comfortable stock here, that one. Faster aim down sights, better hip fire spread. Perfect. We'll move on. Standard sights are what we have right now. You can have iron sights, which adds this sort of canted sight thing on the side here. Improved iron sights, which will make it slightly more narrow in the crosshairs, I suppose. A reflex sight, which gives you a dot on the middle of a glass screen. And a short scope if you want to snipe with this thing, also canted onto the side, which I quite appreciate the aesthetics of. Must be said. I think a pipe rifle scope looks pretty at home on this weapon, I think, considering the rest of it. We'll go for a reflex sight here, and then we shall move on. Now, you can have a stabilizer on this thing, which won't increase your range, but has better accuracy and recoil. For a weapon that fires 1 shot per reload, probably not super useful. I would like that to increase the range, considering the barrel length has been improved, or at least somewhat increase the accuracy. But there's also got a bayonet here, which doesn't decrease your range, and has this cool quad prong setup on the front, which requires basher for one, so it looks like basket. It says basher, but it looks like basket. Never mind. Also, a legendary effect slot is there if you need it. We will leave this as is for now. And there's a handmade rocket rifle. I'm going to show you where to pick up the unique version of this, and then we'll shoot things. Welcome to Virgil's Cave on the edge of the glowing sea. Just in case you forgot, the map reference is here, right off the edge of the Fallout 4 map. Isn't that nice? Anyways, you'll find the unique version on his steamer trunk, which is called Exposure Therapy, and it's kicked over the Plasma GRL 45 just to take this spot.
Nice.
Does 50 points of additional radiation damage, and by the looks of this, we're getting nuclear explosions. So if we need something a little bit stronger than what we've got, then this will be what it is. Also, it looks like it's got some gamma gun greebling on the side there, which I can appreciate. Very nice. But wait, there's more. We can further improve exposure therapy by throwing in advanced rockets. Honestly, not by much, but that's an extra 30 damage. Woohoo. And we're going to throw on that stock, heavy stock, and we're going to throw a bayonet on this one as well, because why not? The irradiated thing can stay. Righto, welcome to the Immersive Gunners Plaza once again. It's a beautiful day as always because I've modded the game to only give me clear weather so you can see the gun. Here is the handmade rocket rifle in first person. This is actually exposure therapy, going over to the standard one now. That's what it looks like in third. In first person, you get this cool canted reflex sight on the side there. The dot is small and kind of hard to see, but that might just be because of my color blindness and poor vision. But taking a quick look in third person and activating the reload, you'll see that the reload animation is just that of a standard vanilla double barrel shotgun. So that's a thing, and there are mentions on the mod site about there being issues in third person. So if you play this in first, you'll be all good. Problem is, however, that all of VAT's usage is in third person, so you're going to get a nice close-up of the reload animation every time, and if that's going to bug you, then that might be a deal breaker. But speaking of bugs, never mind, that's not my problem. I guess we'll just take out basically any gunner that we see here. I'd like to engage from a little bit further back, but I guess we'll just get started as we are now. Now, against sort of meaty targets like the Commonwealth Gunners over here, we might struggle a little bit for DPS. But if we can get them sort of bunched up and all in one spot, we can bounce the damage and get a lot more per projectile than we would then firing against a single target here. Speaking of that, so let's open this thing up right now. So it doesn't look like we've got good accuracy. In fact, the only little tiny ounce and iota of accuracy is from McCready's perk giving me extra headshots, which means you're gonna miss a lot. Sometimes with explosives, near enough is good enough, but I don't know why that one gave me extra damage. We've got concentrated fire to help, and yeah, when near enough is good enough for explosive most of the time. It helps when the radius is large, but it doesn't look like I'm getting a massive radius out of this thing. We'll keep on going anyway. It's not too bad. I think it is substandard in terms of how you'd compare it to a vanilla game missile launch. I'm gonna go for a critical here. Just wait until concentrated fire goes on. That one bent like Beckham around the corner, and that one's just gonna fly into the next state over. What is next to Massachusetts? I don't even know. I guess I should know. So here's a problem that I'm having with this weapon. I'm noticing the accuracy is not too flash on this thing. The spread is not allowing me to snipe at these completely stationary targets, which seems kind of backwards for a missile launcher. You kind of want it to be accurate so you're not forced to use this thing in close ranges like you see right now in order to just get some damage on the target. So that's interesting. Having a weapon that you can't use in close range that is going to directly put you in danger certainly increases the risk factor of self-inflicted damage, you would think. But so far I've had no problems with that. Perhaps that's why the explosive radius, other than for making sense for balance purposes, is a little bit lower. I broke that guy's legs, that's pretty helpful. And we got 500 damage on each of those guys, so 1,000 damage per rocket is good. But I think it's time to bring out something a little bit more nuclear, which might be, I'm gonna hit this guy. We'll go for a critical here just to nail that shot. We'll let that one go. Takes him out. Got to be careful about using the nuclear tipped missiles here, because you'll find that if they hit a stray target or something that's in front of you, you'll get caught in the radius and then you'll die, which is not an ideal situation when it comes to the amount of health that I've got. But it looks like exposure therapy here is doing better. It's funny because we've gone from underwhelming to, oh god, it's overpowered, because it's like a fat man, probably about the same velocity. Obviously, the spread is a little bit more than what you'd see the standard fat man, but the weapon's firing on a flat trajectory, which makes it more predictable despite the somewhat inaccurate nature of the thing. And we might be ready for a level up here, which would be particularly timely, don't you think? We'll bounce splash damage off those billboards there. This Mark 1 turret, he's had more luck that you can poke a stick at. I might just hit his barrel a few times just to see whether we can get some of those glorious crits back. We can actually. Grim Reaper sprint, very nice. We'll hit you there. Number 3, number 4, that's a guaranteed crit. Number 5, guaranteed crit. Number 6, guaranteed crit. Bit of gunfill action for you. And if we see the reload animation, it's not my fault that it looks like that, just so you know. Okay, looks like we've been skipping the reload so far, so, you know, I guess that's helpful. We might see a slow motion shot of the rocket flying into that guy's face. He survived that. They make them tough here at the gunners. Oh, there's the reload. It does look like it's using that rocket asset from Fallout New Vegas. We don't even get to see that. That kill was off screen, which somehow makes it even more brutal. I'm actually a little bit concerned about this one. No, it's fine. We were slightly out of the radius and probably on the very edge of it, mind you. But we've got one crit. I'm going to put one in the direct middle and see what happens. Nice. Nice. That's what you want to see. So, it's interesting seeing how this thing is performing. I get that it's a nuclear explosion, but the power levels are like, how do I put this? Gravity bomb to ultra mini nuke levels. If you're a Ratchet & Clank 2 player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The ultra mini nuke from Ratchet & Clank 2. Excellent. The mega upgrade itself costs 1.5 million, which is more expensive than the Rhino in that game. I'm talking absolute nonsense to anyone who doesn't know exactly what I'm talking about, but that was to grind crits, by the way. Not to prove a point about damage, but just in case you need an example of that. One more in this fateful duel. He's gone the big iron, I've gone the extraordinary noob tube. There's actually, never mind, there's another one over there. Oh, bloody hell. You know what? You're getting the VATS treatment. I want to grind these crits back anyway. Sit back and relax. We'll hit him eventually. Actually, that one flew into a nearby tree and got him anyway. That actually worked out pretty well. And a cheeky little wall bang there. That gunner set themselves on fire. Was that a... Oh, never mind. There's just a caravan guard here. Thanks for the assist, but I kind of don't need it. Sometimes you just get random caravan guards here, and I don't really know why. I'm gonna hit this guy in the face. Hoping for one of those criticals. I would say that pretty much covers the critical part of that. And I suppose this guy... I guess if we target his legs, it'll hit somewhere around the ground where he's standing, right? So that should be pretty good, and if it's a direct hit, even better, but we can't be banking on it. That is 2 shots in a row. 3 in a row. I'm going to take this luck into XCOM. Something exploded next to me, and I don't know what it is, but it didn't seem to do that much damage, so that's fine. And it looks like we're done here at Immersive Gunners Plaza. I think exposure therapy sort of carried us through there, but as for an endgame solution, it's certainly a powerful weapon to use at an endgame level, especially since of how light it is. The problem is, in a survival, of course, is the missiles, but you can get rockets through munitions, so there you go. You can solve this very powerful endgame solution for a somewhat lighter than missiles weapon ammo weight. So that's cool. Alright, so we'll let this super mutant take care of himself, and before we bathe Swan in a bunch of nuclear fire, we'll take ourselves a dip for ourselves. Do we want to regen our health? Nah, she'll be right. Anyway, so it looks like Fred O'Connell and a mercenary have showed up, so I guess good luck to them, but here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep hitting him in VATS as much as possible to guarantee these hits. We'll be utilizing all of the crits whenever this missile wants to get there. There we go. I don't even think I'm getting that much extra damage utilizing the crits, but we'll keep the missiles coming along regardless. Hopefully concentrated fire does a good job at keeping our shot accurate, and getting those extra VATS criticals is pretty nice. We've even got an extra one now, so hit him again. And we'll let our AP regenerate, like it did just now. Probably a good idea just to start hitting him. Now, we'll try to back off a little bit. I think we've just killed Freddy O'Connell and the mercenary, so should have got out of the way. Honestly, if you saw some crazy shotgun or rifle rocket firing maniac taking on a giant super mutant behemoth, would you run up to it? I wouldn't, that's for sure. Notice how that missile curved onto its target. That was awesome. We'll utilize this crit, and now we're in danger, which I've got a plan for this, because if you get it onto an elevated position, you can easily bounce splash damage on the ground in order to get your damage, so you don't have to worry about the spread as much. To that end, I'm gonna go over here and turn around and get hit by a rock, which somehow bent through the air. Like that soccer player. You know what I'm talking about. Also, you might notice how I'm getting missiles every now and then. That's from Scrounger rank 2, I believe, which is a nice little thing. Since we're always mag dumping this thing because it's a one-shot magazine, we get a pretty good chance of just getting that missile back, which is nice. And we should be approaching mutation now. There it is. And a critical to start off our secondary fight here. Another critical ready to go. Plenty of third-person based reloads here. I see a bunch of feral ghouls. The lobstermen have awakened. And now I think I might get extra damage thanks to being outnumbered. No, never mind. But as you can tell, I'm able to get splash damage on this guy easily. Accuracy is not too much of a big deal. But I gotta be careful not to let him throw too many rocks at me, because if he does, then I'm going to die. I think he avoided all splash damage there. Somehow. What about back here? 845. I guess we'll keep going. Okay, we've got him stopped. As it turns out, his pathing is not that great. He's giving me the death stare. Looks can't kill, buddy, but if they could, you'd be winning this fight. Well, I guess we'll try to get as much distance on him as possible. But he's kind of stuck there, so I win if I just stand here. But that's boring, right? So let's go this way. We might be able to lure some other wildlife in his particular way, and he might actually go and attack that other fella who's shooting him in the back, which, you know, would cause great annoyance, you would think. So maybe he'd go sort that problem out. Or is he going to play main priority target as the dangerous one? The rocket rifle wielding maniac. He actually went for whatever NPC was shooting him, so that's nice. That gives me just a little bit of extra breathing room. I think that missile teleported to him because it had no direct path. He added an extra couple of explosions, and I don't really know why. We'll go for another crit here, just to guarantee that. Oh, it's kind of cool seeing the missiles come from a distance, and looks like we've got another crit ready to go. Ooh, we might have a 1-2 punch from the mysterious stranger here. There we go. Okay, we got him. And I think that's about it for that one. So, it did the job. Didn't do it super fast, but the job's over with. Just bring a bunch of rockets and you can pretty much do the same thing. Plus, playing on very hard difficulty increases enemies' resistance to our damage. We get a half damage penalty, in fact, so there you have it. Also, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but the other third-person thing is that the movement is bugged. So that's as fast as I can move with this thing unless I'm sprinting when moving with this thing in third person. And pressing A and the S and the D keys, I don't move. I've completely stalled, but you can get this limping along if you decide to, walking very dramatically and slow like you would see in like a trailer or something. But that all goes away if you play in first person, so be aware. Whether that is going to get fixed in the future, I don't know. This mod's been out for quite a while, and I still think it's on initial release. But anyways, if you like to see this weapon in your game, a Nif Bash weapon like this is going to be lightweight on your hard drive, so check it out if you want some sort of mid to possibly overpowered endgame launcher with not a lot of weight behind it. So you could carry this thing, and it's basically the same weight as like a combat rifle, but the amount of punch you get out of it is far beyond. Unless you're using a stealth commando build, then just use a combat rifle. But it might be something worth thinking about if you're looking for another heavy explosive weapon like this. And on that, thank you very much for watching, guys. Also, compatible with classic holstered weapons. Very good. Good mod all around. Recommend it. Go and download it. Bye.